lose a few years there?
Definitely. Got a few more gray hairs. Man, I was so proud of our defense. They did a great job. Obviously, the back's against the wall is really as much as it could possibly be, and they did a great job of bowing their neck and being firm and propelling us to another week of football.
What was going through your mind when the muffed punt didn't work out? They got the first and goal.
I don't know. That's not a good situation for the Cougs, but our kids, they fight, and I'm so pleased, and I think you've seen this in a number of games where we had opportunities where we could just toss it in and say, you know what, it wasn't our day, it wasn't our night, it wasn't our drive, whatever it is, and they don't. They stand up, they bow up, and what a huge stop right there. Could have easily gone the other way. The Smithson Valley is such a great team. They're so well coached. They're so disciplined. Obviously, you saw offensively in the second half, we struggled moving the ball because they do a great job. So to come away with this win is a fantastic thing.
Had to think that ball was going to number 7 on Smithson Valley. Just how tough was he to stop in that second half?
Yeah, really good. He's a tough runner, does a great job, and I thought that was a great decision right there at the end of the game. Give it a shot, and obviously it turned out good for us. But I think he's a great football player, and I understand why they value him.
What has Harrison meant to this defense this year in particular, kind of stepping up as a senior?
Sure, I think obviously you see his play, and that's the stuff that everybody sees with how hard he hits, how intense he plays. But that same stuff is in practice. He's a fierce competitor, and he brings that to the defense. He brings that to the offensive players. He works on being a leader in that capacity, and he's great to have around. That's infectious among our defensive squad.
This defense has come a long way since that first week of the season. What's been the biggest change that you've seen in the guys throughout the year?
The thing I think I'm probably most pleased with is that they have persevered and they've continued to take steps forward. And we preach and we try to tell them, and everybody says this, of course, that seasons are long and what goes on in game 1 is not going to define what goes on in game 10 or game 12 or whatever. And you have to keep making progress forward. And they do keep making progress forward. And I asked them right there at the end of the game if they felt like we had stuff to continue to get better at. They do, and that's what we'll work on next week.
Smithson Valley, they really shut you guys down on offense in the second half. What were they doing well, or maybe you guys weren't doing well?
They're very sound. They're very technically well coached. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. They're strong and big and physical, and it's just tough sledding. And even I think if we go back and look at the first half, when we were successful, they were probably by the slimmest of margins. And we saw several plays we felt like we got stuffed, but we had the slimmest of margin to making a big play on that, or I say a big play, some yards. So they're just a really quality team, and defensively they do super well.
Coach, at the beginning of the year, different quarterback, different running back. Both these guys have stepped up in Arrington and Aiden, and even Jackson stepped into a role that he didn't have last year. How's the development of your young offensive talent really helped propel the Cougars in this season?
That's a great question. I think it's obviously been huge. All of those people are huge players on our team and in our offense in particular. I hope that younger players look at that and embrace opportunities that they have. And I say younger players, it could be older players that haven't had that varsity opportunity yet. Because when those guys get it, they seize it. And that's what you want in a competitor and in an athlete.
Talk about seizing opportunities. Once again, defense to another key turnover, really 2 key turnovers, 6 points off of it. You won by 5. What is their kind of play stepping up in those moments to really flip the game?
Yeah, I think that the 2 units are working well together. We talked about seizing opportunities when they present themselves, and certainly a defensive turnover is an opportunity that we need to try to convert into something positive, hopefully points, at least a big field position change, and to be able to get those into points obviously was huge tonight.
Yeah, how big was the end of that first half? I mean, you guys just really had an outburst there in those last 90 seconds.
Yeah, obviously critical, really important, and I think that, again, where we are is definitely a relationship or related to where we've been and the lessons that we've learned and the experiences that we've had that have put us in this position. And so you've seen a number of games that we've had that either at the end of the half or the end of the game we've continued to fight, because our belief is that if we have the ball, we have an opportunity to get better and to do the game we love, whether that's as the seconds are winding down in a half or a game or in a quarter or whatever it is. And you know, it pays off.
You know, you told your team you guys have some stuff you can fix. You know, I guess just how good is it to be able to have the opportunity to fix some of that?
So blessed. I mean, glory to God that we get to be with these kids and be with one another as coaches again. That's really the goal, I think, of high school coaching, is to be able to influence kids and train them and direct them. And the longer you do it, the more opportunities you have in that regard, and the more it seems like the more impactful that becomes, because there is some pressure. We're going through something together and experiencing highs and lows and stress and all that, and what a joy.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.